Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the comic book review show where we take the books in the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. Also, very special episode for today. For one, we got at least 2 different discussion topics because big things are happening in the comic book industry and around the comic book industry. Things are happening to the comic book industry. And the comic book industry, of course, is always like, what are we going to do to react? And usually it's nothing, but hang in there because we're going to get into it. But before we do, I want to mention that we are doing a special giveaway today. I want to thank Image Comics for providing it.
Yes.
Man, I feel like Dr. Otto Octavius being like, I want to thank Harry Osborn and Oscorp Industries for providing the funding I need to get the precious tritium that makes this project go. So here,
what?
I don't know, the movie lives rent in my head. But anyway,
okay, why not?
one lucky recipient is going to win not 1, not 2, 9 variant covers for September's Primordial #1 from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino.
Whoa.
Yeah.
9?
9 variant covers. One person,
away.
9 covers, 1 winner, as was already established. How will they win it? How can you win it? Well, let me tell you how you're going to win it. First of all, you got to have at least 3 different criteria. The first of which is you got to be here, and you got to be here till the end of the show. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to live in the United States, because I ain't shipping it. Image is shipping it. They want you to be within shipping distance without it costing an arm and a leg. Continental United States. That's the way it's got to be. So in order to enter, you got to be here. You got to be here to the end. Mm-hmm. You got to live in the U.S. I'm sorry about you Canadians and Australians. I know you're there. I'm sure there's other people in other countries. I'm just picking you guys out in general. It's like when you say, like, this show goes out to Mark. And then, because there's going to be at least one Mark watching. Right. So those are the other criteria. And in order to enter to win, you got to use the hashtag 1961. It's a very important year that factors into the book. I won't give away too much, but use the hashtag 1961. You only have to use it once, and you are entered into the random pool that our mod will use to draw from. And then they're going to contact me clandestinely during the show towards the end. I'm going to keep reminding you, Tiffany, I'm sure will as well, remind you to hashtag 1961. If you're new and you've just entered the show, you can enter to win, but you only have to do it the one time. You don't have to spam the chat. And in fact, I'd prefer if you didn't.
Okay.
But just enter hashtag 1961. You'll be entered to win randomly, and you could win 9 variant covers for a book that's coming out that is actually quite good. I read it myself. It's written by Jeff Lemire.
I have the description.
Oh, please read the description for
a mind-bending sci-fi collides with Cold War thriller in this 6-issue miniseries by best-selling Eisner-winning creative team by Gideon Falls. In 1957, the USSR launched the dog Laika into Earth's orbit. 2 years later, the USA responded with 2 monkeys, Abel and Baker. These animals never returned, but unbeknownst to everyone, they did not die in orbit. They were taken, and now they're coming home.
Oh, cool.
So it's 6 issues. You got some sci-fi, Cold War thriller.
Yep.
No one prepared my face for that sentence.
No.
It was very hard.
I know. But you got through it. We all got through
dope. I like the cover.
Yeah, the cover, the 9 variant covers that I've seen are awesome. Yes, it's basically just we 3, but from Jeff Lemire, and it's got a much harder edge to it, I'd say. So definitely, if you haven't already, check that out. But also, of course, enter to win 1961, hashtag 1961. Nice. I figured I'd pick a year that way rather than having people tripped up by trying to spell primordial.
Yeah.
That's that. We also want to mention this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's episode by using super chats and ask a question or comment, and we'll read it here on the program. For example, Elizabeth Russell, they wrote a thing. What's going on?
I was laughing at someone wrote that you read the words.
I read the words. That's right.
Yeah.
That's your.
I'm on brand.
Yeah. Elizabeth Russell says, hey guys, I really enjoyed the movie, but I was wondering if Bloodsport's personality was more similar to Deadshot's, the comic counterpart, or was it a faithful adaptation of Bloodsport? I'm not as familiar with Bloodsport. I have the first appearance of Bloodsport. He just happened to appear during a time when I was reading comics, and he was
were like, this is it.
Well, I was like, this is lame, because everything was blood. DC was all in on blood, and it was just an exploitative name that I didn't really care for, and he wasn't very interesting when he was introduced in the comics. And so I think Elba did a nice job with that character and gave it some life and some character that I definitely never noticed when I read the comic that had Bloodsport in it that I own. And I've never followed his career extensively, so I really don't know. That is to say, Bloodsport's not Idris Elba. I haven't followed his career much either, but you'd expect me to know more about Bloodsport than Idris Elba.
That's fair.
So, yeah. Speed Vescu says, the movie's fine. People are blowing its uniqueness out of the water. Deadpool and Guardians movies did almost every gag in this first. Thank you. Sean D says, howdy. Well,
hi.
Howdy to you too, Sean. Brian Rowlands, just a little help for the best source of comic book content on YouTube and reminding everyone Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday.
Yeah, it is, which is throwing everybody off.
Naturally.
Everybody's been thrown off by this.
Yeah, of course it has, because it's the first Saturday in May since 2005.
Yeah, but with how things were at the time, they didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart move.
So it's now.
Yeah.
It'll be this weekend. So if you're LCS is participating, you can go and grab yourself some free comics if you feel comfortable going.
Right.
But yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, folks.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh.
And Justin Guy with the Mustache has a massive super chat. Mustache, thank you so much for your generosity, dude. Don't make sure, if you are choosing to sponsor this episode by being incredibly generous, make sure to take care of yourself first, because that's the most important thing. Never touch the principal and always pay yourself first. But thank you, man, and we will use your money wisely. James Gunn is way into Kamen Rider Power Rangers, but only the Green Ranger and the Zords are motorcycles. This doesn't add to the conversation. I'm just using this to bait anyone else who is into this stuff besides Jam Call X and I. Makes the super comic accuracy make sense, huh? Thank you, man, for that fun fact about James Gunn. I hope that's true.
I hope you get some bites.
I do too. Yeah, man.
I legit do.
Right?
I believe it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
I believe it. I 100% believe it. I don't understand what your reference was to with the principal thing.
Oh, it's an old business adage. Never touch the principal. Never hang on to the main source, or never draw from your main source.
Okay, that's better than what I thought.
Yeah, never touch the principal with a PAL. Yeah, you're expelled.
Oh,
J. Philippe Garcia, thank you so much for your help and for your generosity, man. I really, really appreciate it. That was very kind of you.
Thank you.
Jordan.
Oh, yeah, I already said thank you to Mustache. Thank you.
Jordan Phil says thanks for what?
And thank you for witch hats.
Yes. Jordan Phil, thanks for all the content. I've learned a lot about runs I've never heard of from you guys. That's nice to know. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And I think we're caught up. So we also want to mention, of course, that if you want to catch our discussion about The Suicide Squad from James Gunn and Warner Brothers, we will be talking about that in a separate show.
But yes.
But hang in there, because it's also this show. So let's jump into some books, shall we? Let's talk about a couple of books. I read Justice League Infinity #2. Which is a book that came out.
Yeah, you like the first one.
I like the first one.
Did
yes.
You like the second one?
It's fine. Yeah. It's not. I have no complaints about it.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the pages here from the second one look like pages from the first one in this preview.
Yeah. No, it did. It did very much. It's not. It's not the same book. But yeah, I mean, it does the same framing device. It's from DeMatteis and Tucker. This is, of course, a continuation of the universe from the Justice League Unlimited animated series. Gets into the weeds with the Amazo android and whether he is a man or not.
Mm-hmm.
That whole chestnut. We also get to see a new version, an evil version of Superman that we haven't seen, I think, since Superman the Animated Series, when he was brainwashed into thinking that he was taken over by Darkseid, and he takes over the world, and basically that's another reality where that is. Yeah, they swap places, Superman and this Overman, and so we see their realities, and we see the Justice League react to that guy. It's a lot of fun. So it's a classic kind of Justice League-esque book. If you like the cartoon, you're gonna love this, and if you like Justice League, you're probably gonna enjoy it. So you pick it up if you haven't already. Justice League Infinite.
It sounds good.
It is good. I like it. I like it fine.
I don't know. I just want to watch it, I think.
That's fair.
That's my biggest thing.
It's tough. It's tough to have an adaptation of something. It's like the new Batman Adventures, or the Batman The Adventures Continue, which is not how you should title something. It's The Adventure Continues. It's one adventure, and it's called his life. That's what I'm reading about.
I would like to read about his life now. Thank you.
So it's called an adventure, and it continues. I also read Sinister War #2. This, of course, is the big Spider-Man event that I don't think anybody is talking about. Like, genuinely, I don't understand anybody talk about this book outside of
so much happening on
personal
this cover.
correspondence. Well, that's the idea, right? It's all the Sinister teams converging and fighting Spider-Man.
They're all trying to punch. I like how hard Craven is trying to punch him.
Yeah,
stab him.
He may have.
He has a knife.
Oh yeah, he's got a knife. Yeah.
He's trying really, really hard.
Yeah.
So listen, Craven goes for it.
He does, especially if it's not really Craven and it's some fake ass clone. But Sinister War, of course, is it's Nick Spencer's swan song. It's him leaving the title because he is leaving the comic book industry to work for Substack, which is a newsletter service. We're going to get into Substack in a minute because it's like turning the comic book industry on its ear, whether the comic book industry knows it or even recognizes it or appreciates it or not.
Right.
We're going to be talking all about that. But if you want to know who shot first, it was Nick friggin' Spencer. But yeah, Sinister War, man. This is
It was Han Solo.
It was Han Solo.
AKA
Nick Spencer. This
You're
book,
welcome, Nick.
Sinister War is 22 pages long. Right?
Okay.
And there are
who's drawing this?
4 different people. Now, if you were doing an event,
maybe something happened.
Yeah, maybe something happened.
That can happen.
Well, and listen,
life happens.
Yeah, it does.
So and whether you want it to or not, sometimes.
And Bagley's a workhorse and a machine, but there's a million characters on every page.
Listen,
so it's a lot to ask of him.
It is, but I know he can do a solid page in an evening.
Yes, that's true.
I know that for a fact.
Yes, we have visual, physical proof of that.
If there is a snowstorm and he's watching TV,
he might draw something epic and iconic for you. But yeah, this is drawn by Mark Bagley, Diogenesis Neves, Carlos Gomez, and Zay Carlos, and it feels like it.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of people for not a lot of pages.
Okay.
And that's what this book is. It's just a lot of work for not a lot. There was a Kindred arc that I kind of was excited about and then complained about.
Yes.
This is what that really is, but padded with Sinister stuff.
It's got Sinister stuff.
Yeah, but no, just Sinister teams.
Oh.
Just teams with Sinister in the title. And they're all being manipulated or directly co-opted by Kindred to fight or kill or capture or maim Spider-Man.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay.
That's what this is. And it's fine. Listen, it's a high-flying superhero action adventure book. We see some fun insights into a few villains. You get to see Doc Ock kind of being wasn't I important a little while ago? Why am I doing this? But not, but that's more lip service than it is actually character development. God, I'm sorry. I just hate this title. I hate the cover. Not the cover itself. Brian Hitch does some fun stuff, but I'm talking about the titling work, because they want it to be this kind of classic Spider-Man. And when I say classic, I mean 90s Spider-Man. Here's the thing. As a Spider-Man fan in the 90s, I hated this title. I hated the font for the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, sure. Because it was the cartoon font. Because the cartoon did it, and they were like the cartoon, do it. We're going to do the cartoon. And, it's just, I don't know. Whenever Spider-Man really leans into the spider thing, I don't know. It's not for me. Spider-Man's more of an all-American boy who's just trying to do good. And he picked the spider because he got bit by one. But he's not surrounded by spiders. Whenever when he's got legs, or when he's eating, when Craven's eating a room full of spiders, or or if they're doing a trading card and he's superimposed over a big hairy spider leg, I'm pass. And that's the case with this font. And I just don't care for it. But then they brought it back in, and it's just Sinister War. Okay. I don't know. The placement of the war with the Sinister, it just doesn't work. When you blow it up, it doesn't help. This is for the birds, not for the spiders.
That doesn't offend me.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, I don't expect it to. This is one of those things where I'm a stickler for these things.
It's it has a very specific time period look and feel to it.
Yes, it does.
Has that air of danger to it. Things are sharp and jagged and serrated.
Yeah.
There's danger there. Ooh, not only are they sinister, but I might
get cut on the edge of this epic event.
It just doesn't really offend me because it is referencing something.
Right.
But
when it was just it's from the cartoon.
I don't really. It just
made me crazy. But Kindred, we're getting inklings about what Kindred's plan is.
Is it to have more centipedes as decorations? I don't think that's going to take off as fashion.
No, never. No.
I hope not.
Me too. I don't think it will. Honestly, here's the thing. I don't think Kindred's going to take off as a fashion. Like, I don't think that when this arc is over and Kindred goes back to hell or becomes Harry Osborn, I think that no one's ever going to use it again.
Right. Okay.
I think this is something that it's one of those things where you know what it does? It insists upon itself. That being said, if you're reading the book, it's like watching Spider-Man fight a bunch of villains, which who's going to argue?
Okay.
I know that no one's listening after this point. They're just oh, he hates it. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it's fun. It's just that you think about the layer.
He's having an enjoyable time. He hates the logo.
I hate the logo. That's the thing I hate the most. The logo.
The hate is ascribed to the logo.
It just doesn't work for me.
If you were in a sentence diagram, there would be some sort of I didn't learn how to do that.
No.
I somehow
diagram a sentence. No.
I completely missed that in school.
You really didn't. You were just not paying attention because they definitely did that.
I didn't.
No, they definitely did. It was fourth grade. They definitely did that.
It was 7th grade and I had an excused absence for quite a while. And so I missed it all.
Okay.
And they didn't go over it.
Well, they should have.
And that was the end of that.
Well, that's too bad.
Yes.
Magic K says, who will be your choice in taking over Batman after James Tynion IV's departure?
Well, I guess it should be, if they're going by how he got it, I guess it would be Mariko Tamaki.
Yes.
She's on Detective.
She's on Detective.
And that's how he got the job. But it might be Matt Rosenberg or Bendis.
Yeah. The smart money, I think, is on Rosenberg. I think you pointed it out because it's just
I just noticed that he seems to be coming in he's
everywhere.
The last Joker issue that came out, he had a co-writer with Tynion on that book, and I just keep seeing his name, so I'm just wondering if they're priming him for that.
I think so.
The smart money may be on that. The safer bet is on someone who's already writing.
Yeah, Bendis or Tamaki.
Yeah. Again, TC, this is a time for you to have an interlude. You don't have to commit to anything. Although Tynion's doing it in a way where he's giving them plenty of notice.
Yes.
It's not sudden unless they decide
it is sudden. I mean, it is sudden for him and for DC. It's just
sudden.
It's not sudden in terms of he's leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just sudden in terms of in theory, they should already be planning ahead. Not they should be planning, oh my God, what if somebody leaves? But they're planning for the next story.
Knowing how
it's oh no, we have to get someone now.
Knowing how Tynion got the job in the first place, my expectation, honestly, is that it's not an obvious decision. That it's not just oh, we'll just give it to Matt. I think it's one of those things where it's it'll probably end up being Rosenberg. But
you think?
I'll bet Donny Cates got a call with a very big offer.
I could see that.
Because I think Cates is kind of winding down his time at Marvel, and that's what you do. You Tom King, you win an Eisner, you leave, you write Batman. You James Tynion IV, you win an Eisner, you get to write Batman. Donny Cates is the biggest name at Marvel right now, and it would be a feather in their cap to snipe him. Even if it would cost them an arm and a leg, which of course it would.
They may not do that then because the Bendis thing didn't quite pan out.
No. But Bendis is an older commodity.
That could be, but that could be also they may just stick to hiring within right now just to prevent that from happening
just to save
again.
Money.
Just to be okay,
yeah,
let's just.
Yeah. LT3, hey Tiffany and Sal, hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for the continued awesome content. Well, thank you, man, and thank you for your support. Yeah. Curious to know if you each could recommend only one current DC and one current Marvel run, what would you pick? Mine would be Daredevil, and I guess, since it's technically current, I guess I'll go with Strange Adventures.
That's technically current, yeah. Because I would say I want to be the Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah,
it's not really a run. It's not really a run.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with that, and then I really want to go with one of the X titles, but I know at this point, some people might feel it's a little hard to just jump into that. If I had to recommend something to someone, I'd probably go Strange Academy. Yeah. I just feel like this is and everybody can just grab that and check it out.
That's fair.
In fact, I saw a copy of it in a comic book store. And what I thought was really cool about it was the size. It was more size like a manga.
Yes.
But was completely just the same story I had read. I was oh, that's pretty smart to get in the hands of some younger folk.
And Marvel used to do that a lot. Where they take
interested in the mangas.
That's the thing, is that Marvel used to do that a lot, where they take books that were kind of geared towards younger readers.
Yeah.
Scale them down, make them more accessible, sell them at bookstores.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that was a gateway point for a lot of people. DanV900, I appreciated how they referenced the Overman logo was the same logo from the Superman Brave and the Bold or the Brave New Metropolis episode, but they're different characters. Infinity's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Glad you dig it, man. And thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. So what else? What did you read, Tiffany?
I'm trying not to have my body betray me.
Yeah. Because we read more.
I decided to leave the camera for a moment. I saw I grabbed this. I actually remember I made a joke about this. I was like, let me grab it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I picked up the Joker Presents a Puzzle Box, which is one of those books that was digital first, but I believe is still going on digitally. This one confuses me a little bit.
Fair enough.
Because this issue has issue 1 and 2. From
the digital
series,
which probably makes up the length of a regular size comic book.
I guess. I think it has 5 issues under its belt right now.
So it's really more like
I don't know if it's
issues?
Done, and maybe they've already started doing the print version of it. But so you can get this. You can get this issue in hard copy. I'm holding it in my hand, right? It's $5. You get 2 issues in here, right? Or you can buy the digital versions of it for $2 per issue. But then there's also the director's cut issues, which was originally a DC Infinite exclusive, I think, which is now also available digitally on like Comixology, that has a special backup story that lets you be able to keep a couple of steps ahead of the Joker. What's he doing? What's that Joker doing?
I don't know.
I picked this up as like on a lark because of the fact that it has the word puzzle box in it. And while I'm not at all the biggest Hellraiser fan, I was like, dude, if they were like doing a weird, like not in continuity story where the Joker runs into Pinhead.
Yes.
I'm in. Like, I would read that. It's stupid and schlocky and just such low-hanging fruit, but I would still read that. So I was like, haha, let's see what they're doing with this. That's not what they're doing with this. It's written by Matt Rosenberg with art by Jesus Marino and Joshua Hickson.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the artists will change, and they don't necessarily reflect that when it happens because it's technically from one issue to the next. Anyway,
gotcha. Okay.
Regardless, this is okay. So we're in a very interesting time now where like Joker's everywhere.
Yes,
it's just there's Joker everywhere, right?
Joker fever.
Joker fever. There's literally a book right now called Joker, written by Tynion, with an issue recently co-written by Tynion and Rosenberg, where you're dealing with the Joker and also Gordon's in it, and this is a like mystery, a murder mystery story in which the Joker is being interrogated by Gordon, and I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm reading a whole book about that.
Right now, this is that. Device is framing each individual digital issue in a way, which I realized that because I actually went and kind of checked those out because I was like, I kind of feel like I need to understand where this originally came from.
Yeah.
Because it reads a little clunky in this form, I felt like.
Gotcha. Well, it wasn't made to be physical.
It wasn't necessarily. So like the idea is that it's like, you know, Joker and most of Gotham's who's who of bad guys have been arrested or in GCPD. They're all in one location. What's going on? Gordon shows up to interrogate anyone who talked. The only person who'll talk is the Joker, and that's who's telling us this other part of this story. Because the actual thing they're trying to figure out is who killed the Riddler.
What? Riddler's dead?
So I got a lot of questions about this. Like, I don't know if this is in continuity or not. I didn't go that far into looking this up. There's just a lot happening in this. There's a lot of individuals. There are a lot of people involved with this book. A lot of characters. So like Ivy's there, and she's a bad guy, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And
so they don't care.
Catwoman's in jail, and Punchline's there with Joker at like one point. So I'm like, I don't know when this is supposed to be set necessarily. But yeah, so Riddler's dead, and they're trying to solve the murder mystery of that. So Joker's like leading them on a merry chase of like trying to give information because it's like you're trying to get fact out of the Joker, and Gordon knows that. So
yeah, so it's take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, and you gotta like work at it for a while. So he's just telling us the various like steps that happen. But like at the end of the day, like, you know, when Joker finds out that Riddler's dead, he's like, oh, that's kind of surprising, but I guess not. But I know who did it. But oh yeah, like whatever. Okay. But he says like it could be the master engine.
Oh,
it's like some New Gods tech that like Riddler was after.
Okay,
and like he sent up some folk to like find it for him.
Okay.
That's what this is. I'm not saying it's good or bad necessarily. I am saying I think it reads fairly differently in this form versus the online form. And occasionally, I honestly found the dialogue a little clunky.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little clunky.
Yeah, that's how I read Rosenberg stuff, especially his grifter stuff.
But, like, if you like his work, you might dig this. And you have got ample ways you can get it. It's on DC Infinite, it's on Comixology, the regular, the directors, or you can get a physical if that's your jam. And you're like, I need some more Joker.
Yeah, I don't have enough books with Joker in it.
More Joker.
Sweet.
But I mean, if you are, and like,
oh yeah, no, listen, if you love Joker,
there was a period of time where Doctor Strange was everywhere, and I was like living it up, and I had my choice. I wouldn't like that. I like this. I get it. I feel you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The Drizz says, catching up on my Amazing Spider-Man issues. Any plans to cover Spencer Spider-Man run on back issues? Thanks for all the content. Well, thank you for your support, Drizz. Yeah, definitely gonna do it, but not like anytime like soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like not certainly within the next month or two. But we will. I mean, all roads lead to back issues. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
What's he talking about? There's a channel called youtube.com/ComicPop. Subscribe. No, man, while you're at it, like this video. Algie Try says, best thing about Mondays is ComicPop Live. Hell yeah. Well, hell yeah to you too, Algie. Thank you so much for your support, man. And always being here. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Denton Films. What are the chances they called Fraction for Batman? How about him and Rosenberg in a Matt versus Matt standoff? Yes, Matt Wars. Matt. Why not? I don't know if they're ever going to call him for that, but like, that would not be a bad idea.
What, Matt v. Matt for the Bat?
Yeah. Joe Sklandanowski says, how would you rank the runs of the last three writers on Batman, Snyder, King, Tynion? For me, honestly, I've read more of the last two than the last one, so I guess it would go Snyder, King, Tynion. And I didn't really like King's run either. So
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in for that one.
Thank you.
But I think that's very like subjective.
It is.
Like,
it's entirely subjective.
Three writers brought very different perspectives and just very different influences. Even though like Snyder and Tynion, Tynion kind of came up underneath Snyder, like so. There is that sort of connection there, but I still feel like they have very different feels and different storytelling methods. So
truly
very different.
Yeah. Havon Walker Peters for some support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Real Manos says, my pick for Batman would be an outside choice. Carla Pacheco is killing it on Spider-Woman and writes some fun action mysteries. I'm not familiar with their work, so I can't speak to it, but there you go. Eddie B, longtime viewer, first time super chatter. Thanks for a great 5 years. Well, thank you, Eddie, for your support and being here, man.
I'd love Chip Zdarsky to do it, but I know he would rather do it if he had a story.
Yeah, Chip's not going to do it.
No, he's not. But I'm just saying I'd like that.
Oh yeah, I would.
In a perfect world where I knew he had a
He's
story.
already doing it. He's doing Urban Legends. I don't need him to be on in a monthly book and have them beat him down.
That's true.
Just let Chip do what Chip does. Dan V900 is back to say Rosenberg makes sense on Batman, but I could see John Ridley even though he gets to do his Jace Fox stuff, he was supposed to take over originally after King, and maybe it's a bit to make a bit of a make do to him. Maybe. Yeah, they could finally re-up his contract for what he was supposed to do. Could be. I doubt it. Dried Zachariah had a really rough past couple of days. Watching you two is definitely making him a little bit better. Well, glad to hear it, man. I'm sorry to hear about your rough couple of days. I'm glad that we could help.
Yeah.
And Fear and Loathing in general. What if James Gunn adapted Underworld Unleashed and used one hero from Blood Ties? Or Bloodlines? Would you want to see it in live action? Yeah, I'd watch that in a heartbeat. I mean, even if it wasn't that, I'd still watch it. Sounds awesome. But thank you, man, for your support.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're pretty much caught up. We got one more to go. Wilbert Robinson says, excited for Shattered Grid back issues. Love the creator interviews, Harbor Patrol, Capes and Cooks, which is Cape Joel's show. That's not it. These are all shows that they're doing. But Capes and Crooks is Capes, is Cape Joel, and Capes and Pals is Comic Storians, and he wants a crossover between all three of us, Harbor Patrol, Crooks, and Pals. We'd have to do one more Harbor Patrol before we even thought about doing some crossovers. It's one of those things. But I'm not going to, unlike Marvel and DC, I'm not going to say no.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. Shattered Grid back issues. That's not happening anytime soon. But we will do it one day. So
I like you thinking about that. You're like,
I did say I was going to do it. I was like, Shattered Grid. We're not doing that. Did I post something about that? Oh yeah, I did say something about that. That's happening one day. So yeah, Tiffany, what else did you read?
Do I go from the pile?
Why not?
I read this because I like this book, and I knew we were actually going to be talking about Tynion a bit today.
You were right
as well. Yeah, it's great. That's all I got. It's just great. It's just right up my alley. It's like we had the horror fallout, right? Like, bam. If you thought it was going to just continuously be that, which I thought it might be as well, it's not what it is. But what it is an excellent example of why Tynion is such a capable writer, especially for me when he's not writing for Batman and creating characters there. But like, he's capable of taking all of these characters he has under one roof basically right now, giving them all very different voices and different reactions to the situation they're in, because they're in a very extreme situation, and it'd be very easy to just be like, everybody's on the same page and they all feel the same way,
right?
But they're
not.
Most of these people like kind of know one another, but not entirely. Like, there are some people they don't know quite as well or haven't known for quite as long.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really appreciate that. Everybody's having very different reactions to the events surrounding the nice house on the lake. We got a little more world building in this one through one character's exploration.
Cool.
And we have a physical. I ended up reading it digitally, and I got to tell you, for my money, I actually prefer the physical read on this.
Really?
Like, usually I prefer, I like the digital because of
the guided view.
The guided view and the fact that it's like,
it surprises things. It keeps things kind of tense.
Yeah. But the art in this just shines in the bigger format, in my opinion. So this book continues to be great. We're 3 issues in, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
The Nice House on Lake continues to be great. Tiffany from ComicPop. What else we got over there?
We already talked about this, but this came out this week, so I just want to remind you that the Me You Love in the Dark came out, and I looked back through it, and I was like, yep.
It's still great.
It's just great. It's just so good. Written by Scotty Young with art by Jorge Corona. Beautiful looking, really great story. If you are creative, if you are a creative of any kind and have ever experienced some sort of creative block, you can probably relate to the character in this book.
Yeah.
If you have ghosts, I guess you could also relate to the character in this book. There's a couple of ways in which you could connect to this character, either through creativity or supernatural paranormal activity.
Yeah.
Up to you.
But hard recommend.
Hard recommend from me on that
big
one.
Time. And of course, there's also this big Black Label book that came out called The Suicide Squad Get Joker from Brian Azzarello and Alex Maleev, I believe. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So here we are. This is one of those books where it's like, oh, it's a Black Label, it's big, I guess I'll buy it. Even though I don't really care for Brian Azzarello as a writer in universe. Okay. I was like, why not? You know what? All right. You went ahead. I heard no buzz about it. I heard nothing about it. It's one of those things that, based on just the title alone, it sounds like a dual cash grab. Suicide Squad, movie, Joker, money. Slap them together, boom. You got yourself a winning title. That being said, I think it's great.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's really well written. I like the character motivations. It's seemingly a standard Suicide Squad type story, but starring your favorite or least favorite Robin, Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood. Azzarello plays with continuity. I don't know. I doubt it's in continuity. I sincerely doubt it's in continuity, but it does play with the foundation of continuity. You know, like Jason Todd gives us a little monologue about what's going on, where he came from, and so it explains, and it's set kind of in that universe. Okay. You know, it's like, I was Robin, I was the second one, implying there were more. But he's intentionally vague about like how he came back to life and
I saw
where he is.
And that.
But the art is second to none. It's an excellent looking book.
It is. It's gritty.
Yeah, it is gritty. It has the perfect feel for both a Black Label book and a Suicide Squad book and a Red Hood book. I'm not the world's biggest Red Hood fan. In fact, I think he's better as a corpse than a character, but I do appreciate when he is used to full effect and when they do something interesting with him. Of course, anybody who's doing something kind of outside continuity is like, why doesn't Jason Todd kill the friggin' Joker? And it's like, yeah, he would. He would want to do that. And he's only hindered by editorial and supposed character development. But Todd is strong-armed by Amanda Waller into joining or leading a team of Suicide Squad people, none of whom, outside of one, are original Suicide Squatters, and their plan is to kill the Joker. That's the idea. Kill the Joker. They bring Harley in, and that, of course, complicates matters, because for me, it's like, well, what version of Harley we're using? Is it a Harley that would be willing to betray them to the Joker? Is it a Harley that is the fourth pillar of the DC universe and ergo can't be connected with the Joker anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who knows? And we established right away what kind of Harley this is, and how they connect. And it's interesting to see actually Todd and Quinn play off each other a little bit. You also see a lot of familiar faces if you read comics over the last 35 years.
I saw Silver Banshee.
Silver Banshee's in there. Yeah, you never get to see her anymore, and it's fun to see her. She's usually in the crowd scene.
Yeah, her design always sticks out to me.
Yes.
I don't know a ton about her.
No.
But that design always like really catches my eye.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's also Meow Meow.
Meow Meow. You'd love Meow Meow. Yes. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to ruin it, but like... yeah, it's just and it gets turned on its ear, and the only thing that's unbelievable about it, the only thing that like kind of didn't pass the smell test for me was that Todd gets arrested and gets into Amanda Waller's clutches, and there is no way
that Bruce would
ever let that
happen.
happen.
Like there's no way he would be.
There's just no way
he wouldn't put himself in that position to have her
interrogate him or find out more,
or like have any leverage over him.
Yeah,
unlike in the Telltale games,
right? But yeah, so but if you're willing to forgive that very glaring omission that like Bruce Wayne is basically a rich dad who would never let his son get in trouble, despite of all the cars he wrecks, it's actually a really well written book that has a lot of interesting elements in it. It's also the first time you've seen Maleev and Azarella work together, so it's cool. And the oversized format of
I love the oversized format.
I love it too. It doesn't. It's not that it does nothing for the book. In fact, it elevates it significantly. It's more like the book doesn't need it in any way.
Okay.
But the fact that it is there makes it better. Because it's bigger, Maleev plays with it and actually does something with it. So it's a good book. It's actually really cool. I don't know how many friggin' issues it's going to be, but I hope it's not dragged out. I hope it's not like that other one. That Lemire Joker book, that other goddamn Joker book that's like that doesn't stop. And I'm like, is it another one? Oh my God.
Joker don't stop.
Joker. Jiraj Patel says, the Me You Love in the Dark and the Nice House in the Lake have both been fantastic so far. How have you been faring with either series? Thanks for the recommendations, Tiffany. Well, now you know, but thank you very much, man. And
I had a precog moment there.
That's right. Patrick Lawson, I'm willing to pay to have Tiffany guest spot on Capes and Crooks, or Sal, Ethan, and Ben to play the good guys campaign. Well, thank you, man. You'll have to tell them that, I'm sure they have a Patreon for that. But thank you. Elizabeth Russell, I wanted to thank both of you for the great comic recommendations. I read the first volume of Crossover by Donny Cates and really enjoyed it. Nice. Yeah, we picked that up too. Not that we haven't read it.
Did we talk about it? I know you talked about it, but I hadn't read it at the time, that issue of that Chip Zdarsky wrote.
Yes. Wasn't it great?
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
I know you were like you're very light about it, but I was like, that I gotta tell you, if you don't read that book at all,
just read issue 7.
Just read issue 7. Like, even if you're like, I don't really care about the rest of this.
No, I don't either.
Scratch for it. Like, get that issue, because I gotta tell you, it's like there are words and sentences in there that you need to read, because it's something that you may not tell yourself enough. And yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true. Elizabeth Russell, I wanted to thank both of you for the great comic recommendations. That's what you said. I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
That's how we got here.
Yeah,
that's right. That.
Dan V900, did either of you check out The Me You Love in the Dark by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona? I liked it a lot, but I do miss seeing Scotty Young's art.
Yes, we a couple of weeks ago, we've been waiting for this to come out, but we had not only do I have that copy, but we read it a couple weeks ago,
and we actually reviewed it.
I read both issues.
Yes,
so I won't have anything new until issue 3.
No. I do want to remind everybody that if you want to win a copy of Primordial from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino and win 9 variant covers, you can do so by entering to win. As long as you watch this episode and stick around until the end, you will just use the hashtag 1961, and as long as you live in the continental United States, and I can reach out to you. I'm going to tell you how to reach out to me, and you'll give me information. I'll send it over to Image, and they'll send you 9 friggin' variant covers. So yeah, that's a great way to win yourself some books for a book that comes out in September.
Yeah.
So check that out if you haven't already. I guess we could talk about X-Men #2 from Jerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz.
Sure, if you want to end on lesser books, that's what we should.
Lesser books. Well, it is an amazing book, I got to tell you. I mean, Larraz elevates this book to epic proportions.
It's not fair.
But
how good it looks.
Duggan channels Hickman in a way where they are so in sync.
I know.
It doesn't feel at all.
They're synced.
They are synced. Oh,
they went into the vault. Hickman and Duggan went into the vault.
Yes, and they lived 100 or 200 years.
They've become one mind,
and they have synced it up. Let me tell you. Yeah, X-Men #2. If you haven't already read issue 1, go get it, because this, everyone always talks about like, whoa, there's like a million X books. Which one should I read? X-Men.
Yeah.
That's the one. It was the one to read the last time, too.
I mean, if you didn't want to get all the other great stories.
Which you could, and they were.
And I read them all.
You did.
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them, no. Fallen Angels, I think you fell off of after like issue 3.
You keep bringing that one up. That was
a Dawn of X.
That was like a year and a half ago.
I know. That's the only one. That's the thing, is that like it's the worst one, so no one cares.
I didn't enjoy it, but other people
I'm not judging it based on your
interpretation.
Great. Yes, that's true.
Anyway.
Oh, by the way, Joey Morum says to your health. Well, to yours as well.
Cheers.
Thanks, Joey.
I have my drinks over there.
Yeah. So X-Men #2.
Yeah.
It seems like this book is going to be, well, it's only issue 2, but it's what's funny is it feels like this book has been going on for a while, and each book, it feels like so much is happening in each one, because each issue introduces a new concept with a familiar kind of framework.
The reason this book gets to feel like it has been going on for a while is because it's coming from a lived-in universe.
Damn right. Yeah,
like,
and it embraces it.
This X-Men run is coming off of the previous X-Men run, and everything that's come like or like during that, but without necessarily, it's not baggage that comes with it. It's just that feel.
Yes,
we've established like what's going on, the world that they've built up, the rules.
Yep.
To it, and they get to now play in there.
Yeah. So the X-Men were dogged in the last issue by an alien gambling force that is basically betting on the survival of Earth itself.
Casino in like by a black hole.
Yep. And they're sending monsters of the week, kaijus, if you will, to mess up Earth. And the X-Men have been the first responders from their treehouse base.
Yeah.
And this is no exception. They're like, well, it didn't work out last time, but here's another one. And they established that, like, I don't know, I guess like it's been a while because time moves differently where they are versus where we are. So, they're like, well, what feels like weeks or months for them is only minutes for us. So let's send another one. So for us, like, it's not like, well, geez, the X-Men have just fought this thing and then they're doing this now. It's like, no, time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
You can fill in a whole bunch of other X-Men books, and thankfully there are X-Men books to fill in between then and now to allow for this to feel not stale.
Yeah. But like, it also is good because it establishes the fact that these people aren't gonna like, oh, they're just gonna stay at a casino for like all this time,
right?
Like,
yeah,
no.
So yeah, there's a great moment in the opening.
Like there is an opening moment here that is so on brand and character for this character who is not directly part of the X-Men team.
Yeah,
but like because Rogue is on the team.
Yep.
And she and Remy are married, and they had been living. They lived on Krakoa, and now they live on in the Braddock Lighthouse.
Yep.
As part of Excalibur, but now she lives in the treehouse, and like he stays there sometimes and doesn't all the time, but he's there now.
Yeah,
because like in the basement,
he plays poker.
Remy's got a poker game running.
Yep. And I love that he's playing with suspicious characters: the Rhino, Black Cat, and of course the Thing, because he never resists. He can't resist a good poker game.
He's the only one who has a line, and he was written so perfectly, I couldn't help but hear like his cartoon voice.
Oh yeah, the guy who played the cartoon from the 90s was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. She dropped all 3 of your fancy pants names. Good luck. Good stuff. So yeah, this book, I think, and it's a brilliant move by Duggan to cement it in the Marvel universe. They did it in the last issue, but in this one too, they just reminding you, this is the X-Men. The book that you've been complaining you haven't gotten for the last 2 years, this is the one. It's in the Marvel Universe, unapologetically so, but also is it is so inescapably X-Men.
Yes. So essentially, the gambling facility, there's a bet that's like, who's gonna destroy Earth? Like, who's gonna do it, right? And so, like, everybody's basically, they can do whatever they want to try, and so this one group decides the way they're going to try is like through what I assumed was going to be like Prometheus.
Yes, it's a Prometheus move.
It's a Prometheus move, but that's not what happens.
No,
it's not what happens at all, dude. Like, his people are like, well, we'll take care of your family.
Yeah.
Because you are going to die when you do this. Take this vase.
Yep.
And go, it's a bottle, and go to Earth and then drink it.
Right.
And trust me, you're going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he becomes the Annihilation Wave. What?
It's a horror show.
But it's like,
it's so good.
How? It's one of those things where it kind of pantses Annihilation a little bit, because the Annihilation Wave could be defeated by the X-Men. I mean, spoilers, but like the X-Men defeat it. But like Nova fought and died to keep it from coming to Earth.
Seemingly, it's a small contingent of it that like this is like ever growing.
Yeah.
And like, had the X-Men or someone not responded that quickly, it would have quickly become out of control.
Yes.
But the idea is that there was a rapid response.
Yeah. But also, I will point out that it opens with a quote that says, "It was the hardest damn war I ever fought, and that bloody wave cost me my life."
Yeah.
From Richard Rider.
Yeah.
Like, as if to say, like, we didn't forget about what the Annihilation Wave was and what it cost and how valiantly people fought to contain it.
Right.
That being said, we're going to play with it, and the X-Men go and they deal with it.
Yes.
And they deal with it in a brilliant way. I don't even want to give it away.
No,
they're quite in sync, you might say. I say they're in sync.
I got okay.
And so they figure it out, but they defeat the Annihilation Wave, and for good measure, they also they worm in a character development moment for Sunfire or Sunspot.
Yeah, that was the one thing that felt a little like,
it was a little weird.
It was a little weirdly placed.
Yeah, well, because is he explaining that to the guys? Like, is he like, well, let me tell you something about what I'm all about.
Well, you think he's explaining it to those people?
Yeah, to those people, but I'm like, who gives a shit?
I think he just like that's just who he is. Some people are like that. We know someone like that.
That's true, and he is like that.
It just felt a little out of place. However, I also welcomed it.
Yeah,
like, a lot of the characters on the X-Men, we already kind of have a pretty firm grasp of who they are.
Yes,
but not everyone. And so like, I think it was good to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we also in this issue acknowledge that Sync is like, should I tell Laura
about our time together?
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'll only tell her if she asks.
Yes, and if she does, then I'm gonna sync up with you, use your telepathy, and I'm gonna dump all that experience into her mind.
Yeah. What I think is interesting too is that this book, without saying anything or without like directly like referencing it, is playing with like concepts that we're seeing in New Mutants, in which the New Mutants that you know and love are teaching younger mutants how to like combine their powers in different ways that are effective, because we see that here.
Right.
We see these guys combining their powers. Like Rogue picks up, I guess I can't remember if it's like a tree or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's a big pole or something. Yeah,
and she throws it and she tells like Scott, like, face.
Front towards enemy.
Yeah, and then he's like, got it, and he blasts it to create like shrapnel.
Yes.
And I was like, that's cool, and that's kind of what we're seeing happen in the New Mutants, where like, you have to learn how to do this.
Yeah,
like, it's really important because you don't know how powerful you could be until you actually start combining with other individuals.
Yeah, until you do your combos.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the cameo of actually Jerry Duggan literally appearing in the book.
That's Laraz being like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in the book.
I'm putting you in the book. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, it's completely him.
It's just him. Cute. But yeah, and then they have a barbecue.
Yep.
They don't play baseball. Not yet. And then we have a tease for
Yeah, and I thought that was there's like
dark.
There is a panel that Laraz draws, that motion of their heads hitting
the table. Yeah.
It's spectacular how well he captures
motion.
That motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
and the gravity.
Weight, the weight with which they hit that table.
Yeah, it's great.
Really great.
This book is great. And it's only 2 issues in. And I think it's the ongoing. So, here we go.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff. Great stuff. Hard recommend. So yeah.
I saw like 8 feet for a moment. I was like,
oh no, is it him? No.
Get out of my...
No, go away.
Get out of here.
Jay says, excited for Batman 89 #1. Good to be back in the Burtonverse for 6 issues. Love you guys and everything you do. Well, thank you, Jay.
Thank you so much.
Same here, man.
I read that really quickly when you flashed it up, and my brain said the Buttonverse, and I was like, what?
The Buttonverse. I don't know.
You put a button on it.
Yeah. What other books did you read?
I'll touch on this one briefly. I read Savage Avengers #23.
Oh, yeah.
That one with Conan.
Yeah.
When he walks in on Strange, he's there with Shumagorath.
Right.
Why is he there with Shumagorath? This issue will tell you why. It's written by Jerry Duggan.
Yeah,
with
naturally.
art by Patch Zurcher.
Oh, Patrick Zurcher. Yes.
Looks great. Really fun looking book. One of Sal's favorite gals shows up in it.
Oh, yay! Look at it! Yay! It's Daredevil.
Because these are all we see all the heroes like Wolverine and Elektra, Daredevil, Conan, others who have been touched by Cullen Gath as Strange removes the curse that was left on them.
Oh,
he finds a way to finally do it.
Cool.
And he pulls it out. However, it's said that like he coughs because that took a few years off or a few time off of his life.
Okay.
And he's like, that's fine.
That's fine. As long as there's no book coming out that's called The Death of Doctor Strange, I'm sure I'll be okay.
There's also a hilarious panel of him. I know we're going to really, I'm not going to go too deeply into this, but there's a panel of Doctor Strange in his kitchen. His totally normal kitchen.
Right, but him dressed as Doctor Strange. just in a kitchen.
Pouring himself some juice. It's just really funny. Like, if you came upon this in your own kitchen, you'd be like,
hi. I'm Sal.
Is there a convention you want to tell me about?
A magical convention.
Okay. Just really struck me. But needless to say, we find out how like Shumagorath got there, and the like Strange was like, I gotta go find him, but I don't want to astral project because I don't want to leave my body to be attacked by Cullen Gath.
Yeah.
He can find me. So he calls upon like Man-Thing to help him get to where he needs to go.
Okay.
So he goes where he needs to go, where he finds Shumagorath like incapacitated and in like a really bad way.
Oh no.
And so he chats with him for a while to ascertain what's up and how to fix all of this and like what Cullen Gath's like end goal here is.
Sure.
And then finally, Shumagorath's like, okay, it's time. And so like Conan, now we've caught up, gives Strange a knife and Strange kills him.
Oh.
As like a boon.
Okay.
And like he's like, you owe me now.
Yeah.
Because I put you out of your misery. Because like no one should have to exist like this. Gath had essentially inflicted wounds on him that could never be healed.
Okay.
And so he was just he was just bleeding out slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Like forever, like for however long he had been there.
Yeah.
I was like, that sucks.
Right.
Strange uses the Crimson Bands to steal the knife. Presumably that will come into play later on. Probably kill Gath. When they return, some of New York has already been taken over by Cullen Gath.
Oh, no.
The Sickle City is floating above New York City.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's happening, but it's not an event.
Do we see that happening?
Does anyone else see that happening? Will the X-Men show up?
Yeah.
Probably
not.
Probably not. Speaking of X-Men, Hellions also came out this week.
Oh yeah.
That's written by Zeb Wells with art by Roge Antonio.
Okay.
I don't know if that's right. Remember the Vile Loci?
Yes.
Yeah, they're like on Krakoa. They showed up. They're like, hey, what's up?
You're here. That's what's up.
Yeah. I guess they're in Bar Sinister.
Okay.
I believe. Regardless, what you need to know is remember Sinister is back.
Yes.
The Sinister who died is back.
Right.
He brought them with him.
Yes. Okay.
And they're gonna have a big fight.
Cool.
They determined to the reason that the folk who died in Amenth, like Nanny and Orphan Maker and Wild Child, they came back different and seemingly better.
Yeah.
It's like they evolved to avoid that same fate.
Oh.
And so when those guys show up, they get real mad. And like they can feel it's like their blood is like boiling. And
okay.
So, like they attack like with ferocity that they have not seen before.
Naturally.
But it's too late because here comes Zarn or Tarn.
Oh no.
I keep calling him other
Zarn.
things. Zarn, that's not his name, it's Tarn. Tarn had just come from a meeting on Mars Racco.
Yes.
With the Ring and Storm, where he's like, I have to destroy Krakoa and Earth because you guys took from me. And Storm's like, that's just not going to happen. Do you not understand what I'm saying? I know you can.
Right.
Anyone else want to take a shot at this? Like, you're not going to do that, Tarn. You suck.
Yeah.
Like, no. He's like, all right, fine.
Oh, all right.
Like, fine, I won't do that. But like, I think he wants some sort of like something in return.
Right. Some kind of like sacrifice.
But then his people like open the gateway for him to go. And he's like, well, fate, you've screwed me again. Here I go. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm just going to go anyway. So he goes. And he quickly starts to like kick ass and take names. He's just a superior individual to everyone there in that moment. Sinister is like, hey, whoa, what you doing? Like the Sinister who is the supposedly real Sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarn's like, dude, you suck. You stole my stuff. And Tarn also removes the element that makes Wild Child like seemingly more evolved.
Oh no!
He took it away from him.
Oh.
So he's back to what he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wait, did you not tell these guys what happened? No. Oh, hang on, let me fix that for you, Sinister. And so he gives all the Hellions back the memories of Sinister killing them.
Cool.
And them dying. And they're like,
oh, yeah.
And Sinister just straight up did not see that coming. So Sinister pulls the move that only he could pull. And his only move. It's not the Dixie twist. He like pushes a button and there are these red crystals around them. They explode and then like a tiny army of Sinister show up. And Tarn's like, what? Okay. So they basically the Sinisters start fighting and Sinister and the Sinister who died in Amenth leave. Like, he's like, where are you going?
Right.
And Sinister's like, I got something to show you. You want to see it? It's pretty good.
Okay.
And he's like, what is it? And he's like, oh, the C word. Chimera. He did it.
It's happening.
Yeah, he did it.
Oh no.
That's how they end that issue. I was like, oh no, stop, you big jerk.
Cool.
So solid issue. I gotta tell you, Zeb Wells is really killing it with this book. It's just fun, and I don't know if it's just the nature of the like the story and the team. Like maybe he'd also be really good for like Suicide Squad if he hasn't already written it, honestly.
Right.
He might have. But there's just something about this down and out team that he's just embraced.
Yeah.
And like he's really having a good time. It feels like to me like in this world of like these other teams that are functioning fairly well together. They've got their own drama and their own crap going on, but then you have this team and it's like, yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah.
You also read
I didn't finish this. I wasn't even going to say it. I read like 2 pages and I was like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
But I will bring it up. I will read this. This came out last week. It's Spirits of Vengeance, Spirit Rider, written by Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas. It's a book about Johnny Blaze and I can't remember her name, but she was from that like Doctor Strange and the Sorcerers Supreme. Remember that time when there was all those sorcerers? Supreme?
Yes, I do.
She's one of them.
Oh.
She is one of them.
Okay.
Kushala.
Okay.
That exists. Taboo and B. Earl wrote this. I don't know where it came from.
Right.
I don't know if Taboo's a big Ghost Rider fan.
I mean, clearly.
Come on the show. We'll talk about Did You Catch? Why he's no one's favorite. No, he's someone's favorite. Don't at me.
He's your favorite.
Don't at me. I will say this book, I got through a couple of pages, and again, it's actually a chunky issue. It's a chunky issue.
Okay.
I don't know if the whole issue is the one story. I have the physical at the house. But like page 2, there's a typo, and that kind of drives me crazy. There's always gonna be typos, and we're not perfect. I'm literally the worst speller in the world, so I really can't be mad about that. But it really took me like a couple tries to be like, is that a phrase?
Yeah.
Is that a phrase I'm not aware of? No, it's just it's just a silly typo.
Yeah.
That is not a reflection on Taboo.
No.
That's a reflection on things fall through the cracks.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
So
let's talk about the James Tynion IV situation.
Yeah, let's do that. But also, before we start that, if you want to win 9 variant covers of the first issue of Primordial by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, all you have to do, if you haven't already, if you've already put it in the chat, you're good. You're in the contest.
Exactly.
If you're in the continental United States and you haven't done this yet, just write hashtag 1961.
That's
for
right.
your opportunity. Continental of the United States.
Yeah.
9.
And you got to be here at the end. So, okay. So we talked about this on another episode, I believe back in June. We talked about how apparently, there is this like tech company, which isn't a tech company, called Substack. And Substack is a newsletter company that is basically a newsletter for profit model system. And originally they set things up with different authors, and it took them no time at all to break into the comic book industry and snipe Nick Spencer to kind of run it.
Okay.
And so Spencer's basically job is to poach talent from the big two and bring them to Substack, where Substack can essentially give creators, comic book creators, an opportunity to hire whomever they want because they have an endless budget, because they got like a cash infusion of something like $61 million from investors to hire that talent and then basically create their own opportunities to make their own books and then make them available via like a newsletter subscription service. So like you subscribe to James Tynion IV, who's the newest and latest acquisition, and they are acquisitions, they're products basically at this point. Where James Tynion, you'll sign up to his newsletter and he will provide you with comic books that you will be able to download and read yourself.
Okay.
And you can either pay like a yearly subscription or a daily subscription or whatever subscription they have options for. I know they have a yearly and I think a monthly.
Okay.
And if you pay like more, you can get amenities and additional extras. I've never heard of any of them yet. I just heard that you can get them.
That might be a thing.
That is a thing because Patreon exists. So obviously we have to do it like this.
Sure.
So that's what they're doing.
Okay.
And James Tynion IV is the latest acquisition in this venture.
Okay.
And it was $65 million. And this has also pulled in other creators. It wasn't just Tynion IV. It was also creators. I believe Scott Snyder's involved in this as well, which is not hard to believe. But let me see if I can pull up more information about this, because I remember there was like another like crazy list of creators that they got for this. But the concept here is that like they are not going to be hamstrung by universes, by by publishers, by editors. They can do whatever they want, and Substack will not have exclusivity. So when these creators create these original projects that will invariably become Hulu or Netflix or Disney, well, not Disney Plus, but everybody else, HBO Max, whatever, Amazon Prime, whatever series they want to bid out to, they can develop those into those projects. And they don't, and Substack won't own them. In fact, Substack doesn't even own the print rights to these creations, so they can shop these creations out once they're done being produced and sent out to the Substack subscribers, and then they can have them printed at like Dark Horse, like Scott Snyder is doing through his Comixology exclusive deal. Or they could work out something with Boom or IDW or Image or whoever they want. Hell, even Marvel or DC if they were so inclined.
Okay. There's a lot to take in here.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't even heard the half of it.
Okay.
Because when they got Jonathan Hickman, Hickman announced that he is going to
Wait, they got Hickman?
They got Hickman.
Oh.
And Hickman is going to be creating this whole thing, a sprawling epic, not unlike X-Men, called 3 Worlds, 3 Moons, where he is going to work with a bunch of different talent to create a kind of like shared universe, if you will, an Image Comics-esque shared universe of characters.
Oh, is Teenie Howard on there?
Teenie Howard is on there. You'll see some familiar names on this list, including Ram V, Mike Del Mundo, Mike Huddleston, Al Ewing, and more. And all these different individual creators and characters and stories can all work together and create a big shared universe together.
Who pays for it to be produced in the first place?
Well, right now, Substack is probably paying them an obscene amount of money. And then they use that money that they're being paid by Substack to pay other creators to work with them to create these books. So Hickman can work with whomever he likes. Or James Tynion IV can work with whomever he likes because he can afford to pay them whatever fee he wants. So he'll use this investor seed money to make these books.
Right.
And then you, the viewer or reader, will pay them. Well, you'll pay Substack. And then Substack will take a percentage and the rest of it goes to the creators.
How is this any different than Patreon?
It's not. Well, here's the difference. Okay, let's say that you're like an independent creator and you worked very hard to build to work your way up the ladder at the big two, and you wanted to create an independent comic book. Well, originally your deal was you created an original comic book and you worked with whoever it was that was available and could afford the page rates through whatever publisher you wanted to work with, like Image or Boom, and then you made that book. If you created a Patreon, you were contingent only upon the amount of money you could make from your own celebrity. But with Substack, you can get paid exorbitant fees just because Substack is the new hotness from investors. And these investors have $65 million to spend.
That's not sustainable.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But you see, it's worth getting on the ground floor now because they have $65 million right now. And they're willing to pay whatever fee it costs to get the biggest names in this field that they know nothing about.
This sounds like it's Webtoons and Patreon.
Well, actually, it's funny you should mention that, Tiffany, because Substack deliberately referenced both of those institutions as competitors to Substack. So Substack, in fact, is trying to buy its way into the zeitgeist, if you will, and try and like kind of elbow its way through using exorbitant seed money and big name celebrities in the comic book industry to, to kind of edge their way in and establish themselves. And then, of course, the money will flow like wine, because they're edging their way into the comic book industry, which is only made of money.
I guess, I don't understand how in the long term Substack thinks they're going to see a return on investment. Like, what's the ROI here?
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Tiffany, about that is that most companies like this don't think about that. And they're only interested in the optimism that they have for their own longevity. They're probably expecting things like Webtoons and Patreon and other competitors to run out of money before them, you see, and then they'll be the only one that exists.
But Patreon is entirely different.
Well, yes, it's a completely different format. But
and
they
it's
didn't
for like a whole bunch of different.
That's right. But, we're more niche at Substack, and Patreon didn't get a big check.
No,
that I can spend on new talent. You see, Patreon, like Tom, Dick, or Harry can create a Patreon and Patreon gets a percentage, but a percentage of like a low number. Whereas with Substack, I got James Tynion IV here, and he's going to be pulling in the legions of fans that are going to obviously switch formats to get a newsletter format style comic book downloaded to their device.
But wouldn't I just rather purchase things directly from that creator?
Well, here's the thing. Well, you might want to do that, Tiffany.
Like, for example,
you might, Tiffany, you might want to do that. And in fact, some folk have already done that. For example, there's this guy, I don't think you know him. His name is Scott Snyder. He created a whole imprint called Best Jacket Press, where he's doing that literally himself, except that he's also working through Comixology because it saves money, it saves overhead, and it's established. He knows that a big percentage of his readers are already using that format. Mm-hmm. And he worked out a deal with Dark Horse to print the books for him.
Right. I mean, I guess what I'm thinking is like, specifically with James Tynion IV,
yes,
I get, thanks to you, a subscription
to his magazine.
Yeah, to his magazine, Razor Blades. And that just gets sent to my house.
Yeah.
So I just pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Or we pay them just directly. I
just
send it to my house.
Yeah.
That's what I would like. I guess, so when you hear it, folks out there, when you hear us talking about this, immediately someone I know is going to say something like, but these people just want to get paid.
Yeah.
That's not the problem.
No, the problem isn't
that's not
the big
problem.
Payday that Hickman and Tynion and everybody else is getting.
The problem for me is the longevity of it and the concept behind this, which is seemingly that creators, any creators, you as a creator, could also use this. However, they're not going to pay you that.
No.
And so it might work out of the gate for the larger creators, but then anyone smaller, I think, is the people who are going to be trampled on.
Oh, yeah. Well, but here's the hope is for Substack, I imagine, is that let's get cynical for a second.
Oh, for a change.
A lot of comic book fans also fancy themselves comic book creators or creatives in their own right. And my expectation as Substack is that I'm going to get legions of comic book fans who are going to subscribe to this service. And they're going to subscribe to the service on one hand because they want to get the juicy new independent comic books that, again, are just such lucrative business. Like, this makes perfect sense for people like Tynion and Hickman.
Yeah.
It makes virtually no sense for you as the consumer to buy these books. But, like, here's the thing, is that they're hoping that you'll subscribe to it and also use it. Like, rather than make your own book and sell it through like Comixology Submit or through Patreon or Webtoons or something, you'll instead use Substack's model, and they'll take a percentage. And then it's like, so yeah, no, I spent like $60 million to get like 5 of the biggest names in the comic book industry to bring in their audiences. But let's say their audiences factor in the hundreds of thousands. That's probably like 50,000 people who are all going to subscribe to Substack and use the service. And then it'll be, it's kind of, if you could draw it, it'd be like kind of like this, where you bring in 10 friends, and then those 10 friends get 10 friends, and then those 10 friends get 10 friends, and all those people are paying into it, and then their percentages go up the top of this little like this triangle shaped system.
I have a very specific question. Are you subscribing to Substack, or do you subscribe to the creator?
I believe you're subscribed
to the project.
You're subscribed to the project, but you're subscribed through Substack.
Right, but like I'm subscribed to that project.
Yeah, but
that means that like the other creator, I'm not giving them money. I'm giving this project money.
Tynion gets the money and Substack takes money. Hickman gets money and Substack takes money.
I may not even look at that thing over there.
No, you might not. That's why I have so many creators under my belt.
This is like a Comic-Con model, because it's like you've got the smaller tables of independent creators that people tend to just walk past because it's not what they're looking for. They're looking to get something signed by a person they know who's like down the hall, so they got to get past the other people. But that doesn't mean they're going to stop and spend money.
No, but the possibility is there. You know, they'll walk right past me, but my product is so good that there's no way that they can't. All I need is the eyeballs. All I need is for them to see me. And Substack, I'm sure the website, which you have to pay to learn anything about, because you can't go to the website and like actually get any information.
I remember that.
Yeah, you got to pay to get access to the information. But we're talking about it. How many times have I said Substack in the last like few minutes? That's worth $10 million for me to spend just to get people talking about it. You got to get that Substack. See Substack. It's like a great sound. It's like a sound. It's just a sound. And once everybody's saying it, they're using it. You know, like it's like Quibi, where it's like everybody's saying it. And it's so ubiquitous with success and money. Substack.
Okay. That doesn't mean it won't work out. And it doesn't mean it might not, like, it could end up being a great outlet for creators of all sizes.
It is a fantastic outlet for at least a few creators whose names include James Tynion IV, Mike Del Mundo, Jonathan Hickman,
I'm just
Teeny
saying
Howard,
that, like,
Ram V, Al Ewing.
It could work. I don't want to like have us be like, it could, like, you never know. It could work. I don't know.
It's not it is it's not bad. Here's the thing, is that I can imagine people being like, they're selling out, and it's like, no, listen, I'm gonna poke fun at the biggest creators in the comic book industry for jumping ship and doing this because they can take it. Their job is to create and be paid, and this is too attractive. It's too good. It's too juicy. You see, you don't want to be the person who joins Substack for phase 2. You got to get in there in the immediate investors market where it's like, 65 million seed money. You, and you can guarantee a certain number. Well, even if you can't, here's the money. Like, you don't have to pay that money back.
Right.
And it's like, it's no loss for people like James Tynion IV and Jonathan Hickman to leave. And I don't even know if Hickman is leaving. Maybe Hickman did. Maybe he's like, here, Duggan, if you could finish X-Men, see you fucking later. I'm getting $10 million and I'm using $10 million as a placeholder. I have no idea what it is. All I do know is that they got an infusion of $65 million. And I know that the list is not 65 million creators. So it's not like everyone's getting a buck. So, but in this case, the comic book industry doesn't support creators to be able to like afford health insurance or to be able to pay their rent.
No.
And so, as you'll see, like we talked about this, the 3-step guide to being successful in the comic book industry. Step 1, write for Batman. Step 2, create an independent series that you siphon off your fandom from Batman to buy. Step 3, sell independent creation to any number of streaming services that are also choked with money from investors or just from borrowing, and then collect that check and an executive producer credit. Now you're in the TV industry and you got access to TV jobs and TV money. And now you can actually live.
Yeah, no, that's...
And unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. Like, and that's the nature of the industry. It too is unsustainable because it only rewards the top 3. Like, whoever's the top right now, you get that job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they make their money now. That's the new system.
Yeah.
The new market. I think it sucks. But I think it sucks from a creative standpoint, and I think it sucks because it only it only hurts the comic, but like the comic is owned by a multinational conglomerate that like I shouldn't care about or like believe in.
But it's not owned by them, right?
Well, like, yeah, like Spider-Man isn't he doesn't belong to me, he belongs to Disney.
Yeah.
You know, Batman doesn't belong to me, he belongs to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
He belongs to AT&T or whatever. Like, so, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I care about the comic book industry and I love it and I want to see it grow and blossom, but like, you know, they'll be fine because they're owned by these like major corporations.
No. I mean, like, the fact is, it's like it may actually open up opportunities.
Well, certainly it'll give new creators to be like, to ascend,
to have that opportunity and like
to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us begrudge creatives the opportunity
to make their money, to get their motherfucking movie check,
to get that cheddar. Because the fact is, it's like we've all heard the horror stories of how much comic book creators make or how much they'll be paid out for if a character of theirs is used. Sometimes like it's not a whole lot, and you know it sucks. And if they don't have a like a support group or at home or a support net at home that like another individual working, that like they could put them in a really bad situation. They may not be able to afford healthcare that
it's a damn shame that like
need.
But I'm glad there are places like the Hero Initiative that exist to support them, but it sucks that it has to exist.
No, I agree. And I think the problem is it's like on the one hand I'm like, yay, they're getting some money. On the other hand I'm like, but like I don't see how this is going to fare.
The reality is no one's gonna fucking buy these books.
Well, they might like if they pitch it like it's Patreon and you're supporting this creator, that might work.
Yeah, maybe
because you're getting it. Like
but if it did work, they would have just gone to Patreon. The fact is, if it would work, they're doing it to get the check.
Well, it depends. It depends on if Substack has, because I don't know, because I haven't paid the money to go in and look. If they have some like other side like that puts the product in a better way,
right?
Because like on Patreon it would just be like a PDF or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like they may have a better viewing experience there that's more tailored to reading,
maybe.
And so that might be a reason. I don't know.
Or it could be the modern digital reader prefers the Webtoons model where it's just one PDF that goes on forever and you just scroll endlessly. Who knows? I never will. But
see, I might though.
I might.
Well, unless they print it.
Someplace. They will print it because they have printing rights. See, here's the thing is that Substack didn't give a shit about rights to the book or to the creation.
Weird.
Well, it's not weird. It's just it had to be the sweetest deal.
Yeah.
The sweetest deal is no. We just need to get as many subscribers at once right now. It's why HBO Max like gives movies away. Like why you can watch Suicide Squad for free instead of paying $30 opening weekend.
Right.
They just need the people, and Disney's like, we got them. We made Mandalorian. We're good. We got everybody. They want more people, but like we started. We know. We got the Marvel shows. HBO Max has Titans. What are you gonna do? Just give them Suicide Squad. Give them Space Jam 2. Deb M says this is Quibi vibes. This is how they talked. Could be. And by the way, I made a joke about Quibi. I don't necessarily think it is Quibi, but like we'll see. Nachiket Naik says, given a choice between a sub sandwich and a stack of pancakes, which would you rather have? Just kidding. Just want to support you folks. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I think that question depends on the time of the day.
It really does. Because sometimes
I like both of those.
Yeah, sometimes I could really go for a stack of pancakes, but like other times I really need a sub. So it's a great question.
Also, you use the correct word. You use sub sandwich.
That's right. Yeah, it's not a hero or anything. But yeah, so it's fascinating. It's interesting. The comic book industry in terms of the big two are going to like probably not even know what the hell's going on, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's not like they can write Batman.
No. Well, I just mean like, will it impact the industry in any way?
No. If it impacts anything, it will not be Marvel and DC.
No.
It'll be Image and Boom and Dark Horse and those guys who already have a smaller percentage of the market.
Yeah.
That's who it's going to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Boom was just having a renaissance with a lot of these same creators.
Al Ewing,
who are now not going to be giving them stories.
Or maybe not. Maybe Al Ewing and James Tynion IV will feel so indebted to Boom for giving them their opportunity to give these epic books that are obviously going to be spun into TV shows.
Right.
Maybe they'll give the print rights to their Substack comics to Boom. And they can enjoy the crumbs.
I feel like if they're going to do like a print thing, it'll be through Dark Horse because that's who everybody seems to go through, or an IDW.
Right. Well, the IDW and Dark Horse just print pretty books.
They do a nice job.
But Boom does a nice job with printing as well. And I can imagine it's like, yeah, no, I could do that. But like the reality is I only did it for the first check from Substack. So I don't care who prints the books. So I'll just throw a bone to my original publisher, because the other thing is Substack will go bankrupt.
Maybe, or it'll take off.
Right.
Or
yeah, maybe I'll eat crow in a year and Substack will all be using Substack. But I doubt it. And I feel like when it goes bankrupt, James Tynion IV, Al Ewing, Jonathan Hickman, like it'll be like a little blip in their careers where they're like, remember that time that I like really like upset my editor when I left and I did this thing where I got a fuckload of money? Yeah, that's what I remember, is making a fuckload of money. And then literally just going back and writing Batman again or anything else because, oh, right, I'm James Tynion IV and I can literally do anything I want now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, okay. So I see a comment in the chat saying that Image in the beginning was for people with no clue. That's not true. That's not true. Because Todd McFarlane was there.
Yeah.
And
he's still there now. He's still president.
I'm just saying, like, you can't say that Image was run by people who didn't know what they were doing. Most of them didn't. But Todd has like this sixth sense.
Yes, about business.
So it's like you had that going. That's what they had going in their back
that's why his studio didn't fail.
Yeah.
Like, none of them knew anything about business. Jim Lee did too. He created a studio and then sold it off for an executive position at a concrete job.
Yeah.
Which I think he was always going to do.
Yeah.
But the other guys.
And the only way that Image came back though was in a completely different
model
form than you'd ever seen it before.
Yeah, Image
and
had
like,
to freaking.
I mean, like in terms of like the types of products they were putting out.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So it's just a phase, and we'll see
how it pans out.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. But let's get into some recommendations for comics that are coming out that we think you should pick up. Obviously,
so then we're gonna also reveal the
winner. Winner. After this, we're gonna reveal the winner,
and then we're gonna like end the show, but we're not gonna end.
So don't go anywhere. We're gonna talk about Suicide Squad.
We're gonna talk about Suicide Squad, but this is so we can make 2 videos.
So my first recommendation, obviously, is Detective Comics number 1041. It comes out. It's written by, hey, look at that, Matthew friggin' Rosenberg and Mariko Tamaki. Tamaki's doing the main book. Rosenberg's doing the back.
Okay.
But and art by Derek Robertson.
Okay.
This is my favorite Batman book, kind of, so far. It's my favorite ongoing monthly Batman book. Okay. And that's easy to say because there's a lot of them. Yes. Daredevil number 33 is coming out. It's, the best. It's written by Chip Zdarsky, and the art is by Marco Cicchetto. Hooray! This is part 3 of Lockdown.
Cicchetto's back?
Yes.
Cicchetto's back.
Thank God.
That he's better than ever.
Speaking of
I have no idea.
Zdarsky, Spider-Man Spider Shadow from What If from Chip Zdarsky and Pascal Ferry. This is the last issue of this What If mini-series, and it has been a blast so far. You're going to love it. If you haven't already, you should read the last 4 issues. It's totally fun. Check it out. Infinite Frontier number 4 is coming out. Remember when I talked about Infinite Frontier number 3? Well, it's back, and it's coming out again from Josh Williamson, and this time by Paul Pelletier and Zermanico and Jesus Marino.
I don't see Zermanico on the cover.
No, but yeah. So maybe this friggin' system is wrong. I mean, it would make sense because like Zermanico did the last issue. So, but Infinite Frontier 4, check it out. And can't wait for this book. Batman 89 number 1, written by Sam Hamm, the scriptwriter for the Batman 89 movie. Yes, his name is Sam Hamm. And art by Joe Quinones. 6-issue miniseries, I believe. This book, I can't wait for this book. It's coming tomorrow.
I like the brain of a 10-year-old. I'm like, bah! Sam Hamm, it rhymes.
It does.
That's funny.
Also, Justice League Last Ride #4 from Chip Zdarsky and Miguel Mendoza. I'm not, this book lost my attention, but I'm still going to check it out. I kind of dropped off in the last issue, so we'll see what happens. But, it's fine.
X-Force #22 is coming out, written by Benjamin Percy with art by Robert Gill. This is a book I might drop for a bit. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta tell you, Kid Omega keeps dragging me back in. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
No.
But we'll see. Children of the Atom.
Oh, we dropped. Sorry.
Oh, where did we drop from?
Just start over from Children of the Atom.
Children of the Atom #6 is also coming out. We're back. It's all fine here now. It's written by Vida Ayala with art by Paco Medina.
Yay!
I'm gonna check this out. We'll just see. I don't know. Do you see what this says? No one likes goodbyes. The Hellfire Gala is here.
What?
This.
Oh my god.
This book. It's a book out of time.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up for Free Comic Book Day. Obviously, you should check out the offerings at your local comic book store, or just in general what different publishers are putting out, or the Free Comic Book Day website, just to find out what's available to you. And sometimes you have to get there early because some of them, like, they don't get as many of them, or they go quickly.
Yeah, you got to go early.
For example, if you like Something Is Killing the Children, then you may want to pick up the Free Comic Book Day issue of Enter the House of Slaughter, which is the spin-off series from Something Is Killing the Children.
Yep.
Written by James Tynion IV with art by Werther del Edera.
Nice.
Did I say that right?
I think you did.
Nice. I just wanted to toss this out there. That Silver Coin #5 is coming out. It's by Mike Walsh.
Ooh.
Just by Mike Walsh. Art, everything, the whole thing.
Nice.
I almost missed this one, but I'm going to come back to this one.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Wonder Woman 777 is coming out. Last issue didn't really do it for me, so I'm hoping I dig this one. I really liked the first arc of this run.
I know.
The second arc, the first issue was pretty strong.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like the last one, so let's see what happens with this one. It's written by Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad with art by Emanuela Lupacino.
Yeah, and Wade Von Graubadger.
Yes.
There's a lot of names on here.
There's a lot of names on here. I think that's it. So I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. And then the last thing I'm gonna throw out there, folks, Al Ewing is writing Defenders #1, and it's coming out this week. Just go get it. Just buy it. It's drawn by Javier Rodriguez. Come on, guys. Just let the Defenders come back. Please buy it.
Yeah, buy it. Yeah, support this book. Pick it up on Wednesday.
Please just let this happen.
Right.
Come on. That's all I got.
That's fair. LT3 says similar thing happened to Twitch. Msoft/Mixer offered big streamers multi-million-dollar contracts. Mixer went bust and they jumped back to Twitch. Smart. Yeah, that's exactly what this reminds me of. Thank you. Was the Mixer situation.
That's a fine pull.
And that took like no time for Mixer to go belly up. Curvan55 says, have you read about Kieran Gillen's Substacks and his reason for leaving? No, I have not.
But we'll
so we'll have to check that out. Yeah, and we'll talk more about it maybe next episode.
Yeah.
But let's decide who is going to be the winner. And by decide, I mean it's going to be randomly drawn.
By the way, you don't have to really buy Defenders if you're interested in it.
That's
Never
right.
feel like any of us are pressuring you to purchase something just to get sales up. Like, only grab it if you're interested in it. It's my job to let you know it exists, though.
Yeah.
And it is written by Al Ewing, so
okay, so here's the deal. This is the I'm going to announce who won. You shout out in the chat, you reveal you've been here, and we will make things work out for you. You will win 9 variant covers from Image Comics, which I got confirmation is definitely going to happen.
We were like literally a little worried. We're like, is it going to happen?
We good. But yeah. So I'm going to announce your name. Just drop your name in the chat and then email me, sal@comicpop.net, and give me your digits and information.
Drop a hello or something.
Yeah, just say hello.
You don't have to say your name.
Don't tell me your full name or your address. Like, you email me, sal@comicpop.net.
Yeah, but just let us know that you're
that you're here
like,
right now.
Yay, I did it.
Exactly. And then we'll wait a few seconds. And if you don't sound off, we'll have to go to the next name. But we do have a nice list of names. So don't leave just because we have announced this name, because I could drop the friggin' ball. And so many people have. So here you go. Trevor Byers. Trevor Byers may be the winner.
Where are you, Trevor?
Right? But yeah, no, Blake, sorry, not Canada. It has to be the continental United States.
Where are you, Batman?
Where are you, Batman? Classic Joker line. Trevor Byers, if you've just, you may have just won by...
Here's Trevor, I see him!
Oh, crap, there he is. Hello, Trevor.
Hello. I said
all right,
hello.
There you have it, yeah. So Trevor Byers, contact me. Email me at sal@comicpop.net and send me your email or your address, and I'll send it over to Image, and they will mail you your 9 variant covers for the upcoming September series from Image Comics and Jeff Lemire, Primordial, which will be available on sale again in September. But Trevor's going to get it a little bit early, and you'll get 9 friggin' variant covers. You can do whatever you want with them, but definitely share them if you have a social media. Otherwise, we want to thank you so much. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video to help us out, and stay tuned for another episode where we talk all about the Suicide Squad, give us our in-depth feelings and thoughts on the subject, and spoiler review thereof. So we'll see you guys next time on another episode of Off the Rack. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
So long.